We inspire change in life.
Hello, hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Lunar New Year. 恭喜发财. Okay, I hope everyone has enjoyed your Chinese New Year past 2 weeks and welcome back to our weekly Dr. Webinar. Great to see everyone back again today. All right, I'm Vincent here and I will be your main host and translator for today's session. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest over the past week and now you are fully recharged for the new year, okay, for this 2022. All right, today is also the 15 days of Lunar New Year and the last day of Chinese New Year. And hereby, I wish everybody good health and prosperity this year. 财源广进哈，大家一起发，okay, and truly appreciate you guys making an effort to join our session tonight. Thank you for taking our time off to participate in today's session to enrich yourself. For those who wish to listen to Mandarin later, you may tune into the Mandarin session. If you're using laptop, okay, computer, you can just click on the icon below the screen at the bottom of the screen, like globe. Okay, click on Chinese. And if you are joining from mobile, iPad, okay, you can click on more at the bottom right, okay, and then select Chinese. I will be doing the translation after our introduction later on. Okay, let's get started. Today, Doctor will be discussing with everyone about exercise and diet, okay, which is a very relevant topic in my opinion. Why is this so? I'm pretty sure over the past 2 weeks we had plenty of good food, good drinks, and enjoy the company of our relatives and friends over the past 2 weeks. And usually after Chinese New Year, it is quite common, okay, to find that we find that our shirt and our pants become a little bit tighter, okay, or you have gained a little bit of weight, okay, that's completely normal. Okay, for myself, I think I realized that I've grown younger over this period due to snacking. You can see my pimple over here. All right, usually only teenagers have these pimples, right? I think I have this pimples due to a lot of snackings, over the past Chinese New Year. Okay, jokes aside, okay, for after all the feasting, for the past 15 days of Chinese New Year, what can we do to get back our body to shape? Exercise is definitely one option, and of course, the other option will be we'll have to work on our diet. And as we all know, okay, and often heard, we are actually what we eat. All right. So, doctor will also explain the importance of having balanced diet and why is it important and advantageous to have balanced oil in our diet and how it can help our body to become balanced and be healthy. All right. And of course, doctor will also be discussing, this is the balanced oil, by the way, for those who have not seen before. And doctor will also be discussing on talking about our very important tool in my opinion, which is the balance test. This is the balance test. As you can, this test is actually one of the key drivers as to why Zinzino has been growing so rapidly worldwide. Every other company outside, okay, they are selling different types of brands of product. They are saying they have the best product. Usually they will say that they have the best product, and why is it so? And they are using testimonials to sell. All right, we at Zinzino, obviously we do have plenty of testimonials as well, but on top of that, we also have a very important tool, which is our test report, okay, to show whether the product that you have been taking, whether are they effective or not. The balance test report will give a very clear indication of your current health status, and that is especially more important as the society gets more educated. Okay, and until today, we just did a check earlier. Okay, we have done more than 780,000 tests worldwide. Okay, so you're not the first one, you're not the 78th one. Okay, now we are already in the we have already done like 780,000 tests worldwide, and the number is just like growing every single week. Okay, by the way, all these tests, okay, the tests, they are all done anonymously, meaning to say that whether you have done the first time the balance test or the second time, or you have done the 10th time balance test, or okay, Zinzino or our third party lab, okay, will not know who actually sent in these samples. Okay, so you can actually rest assured that the result generated from the balance test in zenotest.com are fair and accurate. All right. And by the way, for those who are joining us for the first time, welcome again to our Dr. Webinar. Zinzino is a test-based nutrition and a public listed company based in Sweden, and we are also the world leading company with the largest fatty acid test database worldwide. All right, Zinzino has been serving many satisfied customers in Europe over the past years, and we have now started growing in Asia. We have been a tremendous success in Europe over the past years, and with the Balanceoil and balance test, soon Asia will definitely be even bigger. All right. And before the end of the session, okay, we will also open up the field for some Q&As, okay? And this is a wonderful opportunity for you to ask Dr. Abraham anything regarding health and products. I'm pretty sure over the past week, your relatives and friends come to your place, or you visit their place, you will be probably talking a little bit about balance oil. Okay, and I'm pretty sure they will ask you some technical question that you are not very sure. Okay, you can actually ask doctor, prepare this question in advance later during our Q&A segment. Okay, you can just type in into the chat box, and then doctor will give you his advice. All right, so it's also a very good time for everyone to learn and share knowledge together during the Q&A segment. And as you understand more about the products, you'll be more confident and more convincing when you are sharing the products with your prospects. All right. Okay, before we start, let me give everyone a short introduction of Dr. Abraham. Doctor is based in KL, Malaysia, and he has been in the medical field and worked in hospital for more than 40 over years. Okay, so he is a very experienced doctor and has helped plenty of patients back to their health. Even though he's a medical doctor, he truly believes in the holistic approach to keeping our body healthy. He is also now in the scientific advisory board for Zinzino and has been working closely with the rest of the board members to develop better and wonderful product for you in the market. So without further ado, let us all type in 888 into the chat box to welcome Dr. Abraham. Doctor, please, thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. To be back again. Today we are touching on a topic which is quite popular, as you can see from around town, that there are a lot of gymnasiums around town. And many people have exercise equipment at home. So what is the impact of all this on our lives, and how exactly does it work out? Now, if you go back about 150 years, there was no such thing as exercise, because everyone earned his living by plowing in the fields or working in factories. All of this involved physical work. And this physical work makes you very tired. And the only other activity you can have is go back home, have dinner, and rest, sleep, recuperate for the next day's work. Same thing for the housewives. They were alone. There were no maids. You have to look after the house. The average families were anything between 4 to 10 children, and you have to look after all of them, wash the clothes without a washing machine, maybe iron some of them if at all you want to. That's a lot of work. Try washing clothes without a washing machine. Maybe you can try out some of your singlets and underwear. Just small pieces of cloth. You'll be surprised how much work is involved. So that period created its own exercise, and they had very little physical problems. Not much of a low back ache. Most of the work was done squatting, and so your back got stretched, your stomach got compressed, you never had a big paunch. Because of the compression of the abdomen when you're squatting down, bowel movements were much better. And again, because of the squatting, your knee joints and ankle joints were all flexed and extended throughout the day. Most of the work was done squatting or on a very low stool. And all this kept people healthy. Now, as we got more industrialized, we found that there are a lot of people who need to get involved in administrative work. This brought greater returns financially, and more people were attracted to this lifestyle. And industries improved, and therefore a small number of people could actually grow enough food for larger number of people. So you don't have to grow your own food. Farms were opened up. Single farmer families can now farm a few acres of land, some of them even 100 acres, which provided food for a lot of people. And this relieved a lot of them to go and work either in factories or in administrative jobs. So the physical activity started dropping around 100 years ago. As the physical activities dropped, with the increased supply of food, the obvious thing happened. People started putting on weight, and this impacted their health. And then we started getting some evidence of modern day diseases. Most people in, say, 50 years ago had to work very hard during their young times. They were a little well off in their older age. So some of these diseases came only in their 60s or even in the 70s. Now today, as prosperity spreads around, many people, even very young, are already working in office jobs. Because IT has grown to such an extent, we need a large body of people to help out, to make sure that everything is running okay. A lot of services are online, and therefore IT industry has grown so large. It has contributed to the largest number of people who are sitting and doing work. So exercise has gone down and illnesses have gone up. Now, illnesses have gone up not only because of the lack of exercise, it is also diet and lifestyle. Exercise is only one part of it. And today we are going to look at that one part. Okay, why do we need to exercise? If you look at the human body, we have 206 bones per person. Yes, 206 bones. 620 different muscles and muscle groups. That's a large number. All these are joined together by joints. These joints are estimated to be around 200. Now, can you imagine a machinery of this complexity and you don't move it, you just park it in one place? What will happen? You take your car, don't use your car for a month, and then you start the engine and you start moving the car, you will find that something has gone wrong. Either the radiator has been leaking, or it's overheating, or the brakes have become more soft, the engine is not smooth. Something or other seems to be either not at its best or actually broken down. Now, the same thing happens to the human body. Only thing is the human body is more tolerant. So you could work on a desk job for 20 years, nothing much happens, and then things begin to happen, and you may not connect it to not exercising the body. Okay, so should we exercise just for that? No. Exercise is an amazing thing. Now, if there is one pill that can be created to take for health, I would say exercise should be that pill. Only thing, exercise cannot be put into a pill. Now, the benefits you get are physical, psychological, social, and a sense of well-being. Physical, what happens? Now, when you start exercising, your blood vessels open up more. Our blood vessels are very compliant. They spring according to our heartbeat. So when you start exercising, your heart rate goes up, your blood vessels are also exercising. As we get older, blood vessels get more stiff and we cannot exercise that much. But if you are an early beginner and you have been constantly doing it, you will find that you can exercise quite late into your 70s or even 80s. I know a tennis coach who's aged 84. Amazing, isn't it? Not everybody can do that, but this guy has been consistent from the age of 20 plus. So exercise will keep you mobile, working condition much longer. Why? Because the blood vessels also exercise themselves. They are more compliant. And how does that help the body? Every organ in the body is supplied by blood vessels. So if the blood flow to those organs are at its optimum, and of course the blood vessels, the veins, drain off the waste matter from the organs, they will function as best as they can in spite of the aging process. Okay. The next good thing that happens is you will find that if you're working quite hard, in the evenings, about 4 to 6 o'clock, your energy levels are low. And some people have a depressive feeling during that period. But if you just walk out and exercise to the point where you just break into a sweat, don't have to do it very intensely, just enough to sweat a little bit, and you come back, your whole mood changes. Exercise is ideally important for people who tend to have a very low mood or mood swings through the day. Exercise is a great help. That is psychological. Now, the physical part, the controversial part is the weight loss. And I'll say a few words about that. Exercise does not reduce body weight or body fat. The exercise machines that show you how many calories burned are very misleading. A trained athlete does a very severe event for an hour, he will probably burn about 500 calories. This is a trained athlete at his top performance. So most of us, when we do some form of exercise, we burn about 200 to 300, maybe 400, because today you felt a little more energetic, you pushed harder. Now, our next meal after that, every meal, is a minimum of about 600 to 700 calories per meal in Southeast Asia. So one meal wipes out your whole exercise period. You have already replaced the calories. Now, hold on. It doesn't stop there. Actually, it is important how much you lose or how much calories you continue to burn after you stop exercising. So it is not only what you see, the number on the treadmill, but the continuous burning of calories. How long does it last? 36 to 48 hours at the most. And that's the reason exercise on a regular basis is what will bring your weight down, not once in a while some intense exercise. No. Okay. So when it comes to weight, yes, it helps, provided it is regular. However, it alters your body composition. When you exercise, your muscles and your bones get more dense. And that's the reason you can prevent osteoporosis in ladies, and you can keep your muscle bulk to a much older age in males. Now, the muscle, by the way, is a major organ that can produce certain hormones. So keeping it in good shape and as much of it as you can through exercise should be a target for all males. Okay, again, exercise, regular exercise. Okay, there are many of us who are still engaged in manual work. Okay, we work in, we may be supervising factories, we may be I've got a friend who supervises crane lifters, and he has to go up the crane and down the crane. Those cranes can be 12 stories tall, 17 stories tall. Walk up a crane or climb up a crane that tall and come down just 2 or 3 times a day. Wow, it's like climbing a small mountain every day. That's a lot of physical work. Obviously, someone who does that kind of work need not go and do aerobics in the evening. His exercise would be a more gentle form, maybe Tai Chi. And that brings us to the next step. What do we mean by exercise? Is it going to the gym, doing Tai Chi or yoga or what? Exercise is basically a planned program of physical movement because you have not experienced that during the day. So an exercise program should follow that type of work that you do. If you are desk bound throughout the day, then you need to go to the gym, maybe a little bit of jogging, maybe a little bit of lifting of weights so that you give some resistance to your muscle, and make sure that you are also flexible. And sitting down, you will find that you get very stiff in certain parts of the body. So an exercise program should coordinate with the work that you do every day, should coordinate with what you like to do. For you, exercise may mean a game of badminton. For some people, exercise may mean a good evening swim. And you need not stick to just one. You could choose one every day. Some people say, how can I do the same thing every day? Fine. One day it's walking, next day is swimming, third day is jogging, fourth day is a tennis with a friend, whatever. But you need to move every day. We eat 3 meals at least. In this part of the world, usually it's more. We have to at least move 30 to 40 minutes in an organized way so that it involves all our muscles, our bones, and our joints. Okay? What is exercise not beneficial for? Obviously, when you are ill, don't exercise. You must recover from your illness. Okay? One. The second thing is, the moment there are some health practices people do, like fasting. Okay? Some people fast once in a while, some once a week. Fasting is very important, very good. It can cut down your cancer incidence quite effectively if you regularly fast. What I wanted to say here was the day after the fast is important. Okay, you have not had food for a day or maybe 12 hours. Some people do it 24, 36 hours. The day after the fast is important. Do not exercise the day after a fast. You have just started taking food. The maximum you should do is go for a walk. There are exceptions to the rule. Those who have been in this for a while, they know their bodies. They can get involved in very mild exercise. But for the others, no. Okay. By the way, fasting should be done, and maybe another day we'll talk about fasting. But in this part of the world, the biggest activity is feasting, not so much as fasting. Okay. So when you should not do exercises, you should not do exercise during illness and immediately after a fast. All illnesses? No. There are certain illnesses that are permanent. Somebody who's got a stroke, someone who's got kidney dialysis. Now, should they exercise? Yes. What kind of exercise? Now, when you sit down on a chair, there are many exercises that you can do. Even if you can't do anything, just tense your muscles, okay? And let go. Tense it for 1 to 2 seconds, let go for 1 to 2 seconds. You will feel so much better, okay? Just tighten your muscles and let go. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe you want to lift your body with your arms by about 2 inches, and then lift your body with your legs for about 1 inch or so. You keep repeating that for about 5 minutes, you'll be amazed how much benefit you can get. This is for people who have chronic illness, who can't move that much and are stuck to their chair. Okay, so all about exercise. Now, with exercise comes proper management of your diet. Okay, now if you exercise, you must exercise to the point where you don't exhaust yourself. Don't tire yourselves too much. This is a common mistake people make. If you over-exercising is only for athletes, not for regular people. If you over-exercise, you will get hungry, unnecessarily hungry, and you cannot stop eating. You will find that you will eat, not only compensate for the calories you lost, you will eat much more than that. And you will find it difficult to lose that little bit of weight around the waist or around your armpits. Why? Because you over-exercise. When you over-exercise, the body produces stress hormones. Okay? When the body produces stress hormones, you will find that your hunger shoots up. One, the stress hormones also prepare your body for storage of reserve food. And the only reserve food that can be stored in the body is fat. And therefore, you may land up with no loss in weight. It's difficult to put on weight while you're exercising regularly and vigorously, but you will not lose the weight that you wanted to lose. And by the way, losing weight should be an exercise in losing body fat, not weight. I'll talk a little bit about that soon. Okay, so when you exercise for the sake of health, exercise, finish exercising when you feel that you can still come back tomorrow. If you're leaving the gym or the field or whatever you are doing, feeling exhausted, that is too much. And if you feel that tomorrow I can take a skip, no, that is too much, okay? So 7 days a week, shoot for at least 6 days a week. Why should you do that? If you shoot for 6 days, you will get at least 4 days done. If you shoot for 4 days, you probably get less. In fact, I should say, aim for exercising every day. If you can't, then obviously you are over-exercising or under resting. You're not recuperating fast enough. Anything else about exercise? Food. Food is extremely important, and the number one thing about food when you exercise is protein. Most of us get, I think, fairly enough protein in our diet. The problem is distribution. Many of us do not take much protein in the morning. And sometimes in the afternoon, we load more on carbohydrates and so on. At night, when we are at home or rested or going out with friends, we relax and take a lot of protein food. Now, that is not a good balance. You must spread it out during the day. If you find that you can't do that for every meal, at least get the morning meal and evening meal with some protein. The morning meal, you can't eat much, you can't eat meat. Maybe you want to take 1 or 2 eggs, which if it is okay, or a protein drink, okay? Supplement the morning with some protein with a light breakfast. That will carry you through the day and an evening to recover from the exercise. What else do we need with regards to exercise? Keep exercise a safe activity. Don't go for skydiving. I mean, once in a while, somebody has gone overseas and you want to try it out, fine, if you're adventurous enough. What I mean is don't get into very risky kind of sports. Boxing is one, okay? Unless you want to be a professional, don't get into boxing. The hit on your head can cause damage, which can be realized. The damage is realized only much later in life. Marathon running, unless you feel that you must run a marathon, don't, okay? Marathon is not meant for everybody or even a small number of people. And look at the size of your body. We are made differently. If you are thinly built, yes, long distance running may be okay for you, but you're built in a heavy way, don't try that. You will find that after a few years, you would have damaged your knee and ankle joints, maybe even your lower back, okay? Exercise is to give you fun, to lift your mood, to get you a good night's sleep, to enjoy the food that you're taking, and to live the life span that you're meant to live, okay? If anything comes in that way, cut it down. And this advice is not for professional athletes. That's another group altogether, okay? We have in our scientific team, Dr. Colin Robertson, who specializes in nutrition for elite athletes. Can you imagine? There are athletes who do triathlon, which is a marathon, swimming, I don't know how many miles, cycling for about 100 kilos, that is called a triathlon. And there are athletes who do that twice over in a day. I don't know why they do that. Okay, so that is about exercise. And then we talked about diet. I want to talk a little bit about omega-3 oil, which is not highlighted in a diet for an athlete or a runner or an exerciser. Now, all the things that I talked about is supplemented or made better if you take the right kind of omega-3 oil. Something like what our balance oil that Zinzino offers. So what do you get out of it? They have found that for the blood vessels to expand to its optimum, you must have enough of omega-3, especially the EPA part. Do you know that exercise stimulates the brain? And the brain is supported by DHA, which is found in omega-3. They also find that muscle soreness, athletes are quite familiar with this term, DOMS, D-O-M-S, delayed onset muscle soreness. For some people, it is the next day. For older people, it is a day later, which means 2 days after the exercise. You feel soreness all over. Even if you're a trained athlete and you have a low omega-3 index, you will get muscle soreness. That is one major symptom that reduces dramatically with omega-3. When I say omega-3, you must get adequate amounts and your body must be able to utilize that omega-3. And you will be amazed how much less muscle aches you get post-exercise. Now, when you exercise, especially jogging and so on, you will find that there is a lot of impact on your low back, your knees, and your ankle. Take the knees, for example. If you're 150 pounds, or let's say 70 kilos, every time you run, you have to hop on one leg or the other. So all your weight is borne by one knee at some point. Now, the impact on the knee is at least twice your body weight when you're running. Can you imagine? Now, that's the kind of impact that your knee takes. Obviously, it has to have better maintenance. This is not to say that it will destroy your knee. There is going to be wear and tear, and then the body will repair. But are you giving the right conditions for that? You need to take adequate amounts of protein, particularly collagen. The number one ingredient in the bone is not calcium, it's collagen, okay, which comes from protein. And you know what? The joints, the number one requirement is omega-3 to keep them young, supple, and the repair to be complete. So omega-3 is extremely important for the maintenance of your joints, in addition to the basic protein, okay? So now, any other benefits of omega-3? Omega-3, when you reach the ratio of omega-3 to 6 at 1:3, the inner lining of blood vessels becomes very healthy. So now, the inner lining of the blood vessel is the one that produces something called nitric oxide. Yeah, it's a gas released in the cells, which help the blood vessels to dilate. Now, when that happens, you get increased supply to the muscles and the organs that supply the energy. And therefore, this translates to endurance. You last longer doing an exercise if you take regular omega-3 that works for you. Okay, extremely important. You don't get the effect day after tomorrow. No, it takes a while. I would say anything between 3 to 6 months, and you will notice a major difference. Okay, now, why do we get body ache? Lactic acid, waste matter, many things. Also inflammation. The body does get inflamed because when you run, you're stressing the body. Occasionally, you might stress more than necessary. So how does omega-3 help? compared to omega-6, which is more of an inflammation promotion omega oil, which is necessary for healing of any injury. Omega-3 will reduce inflammation in the body. Any excess inflammation through exercise or injury, the omega-3 will modulate so that it never gets into an excess mode of inflammation. In traditional Chinese medicine, it used to be called heatiness. Now we know what they meant was inflammation. Inflammation is an important factor. Exercise is not the only one that produces inflammation. Stress, eating poor diet, exposure to pollutants in the air, chemicals in the environment, heavy toxic metals, okay, smoking, even smelling fried food can increase inflammation in the body. You know, when there's a lot of frying going on in the kitchen area, you get that smell. That smell is due to a lot of free radicals. So be careful. Those who are cooks, for all the time frying food for other people, it's better to wear a mask, not just for COVID, but for this also. So I would like to summarize it by saying exercise is very important to keep the whole engine of the body moving and in good health. Don't worry too much about the body weight. They have found that if they took obese people, two groups of obese people, one strict diet and exercise, and they reduced body weight and improved their health. The second one, no limit on the eating, so they exercised and became fitter, but did not lose body weight. The benefit of exercise was almost equal. Okay, does it mean don't have to lose body fat? No, losing body fat has other more benefits, you can say, better looks, even longer lifespan. But health status, even if you are still on the heavy side, yes, but you exercise, you are going to be more healthy than a person who has lost weight or did not exercise. Okay, now keep an eye on the diet. Nobody is 100% strict, shall we say. Even the strictest people take liberties. Have your ice cream once in a while, have whatever else your favorite food is. There is a saying which says, anything that's bad may sometimes be good for you, which means once in a while. Otherwise, you might be stressed out not getting it. Okay, now, omega oil. I've been saying the appropriate, the correct omega oil. I would like to say that at the moment in the market, the only omega oil that can be shown to work in your body is Syngeno Balanceoil. Why? Because we have the tests to prove that. It's a simple blood test, and you should take a test whether you have been on other brands of omega-3 so that you know it's working for you or not. If you haven't started Syngeno Balanceoil, you should do a test, or rather, if you're going to go on Syngeno Balanceoil, take it before you start and take it 120 days after that. Okay. Now, what do we mean? Why 120 days? It takes 120 days to change all the red blood cells in the body. And we check the omega-3 levels in your red cell membrane, not in your bloodstream. Bloodstream is flowing all the time. It can get eliminated or used up for something else. Are the body cells actually using the omega-3 that you take? The only way to check it is from the membrane of a cell. Now, there are very few cells that you can take out. The only cells that you can take out that are moving and you can spare some once in a while will be the red blood cell. The red blood cell travels the whole body once every minute, and therefore it is a fairly good representation of the omega-3 or any other nutrient that embeds itself into the cell. Okay, so here we don't check the blood, the liquid part of the blood. We check the membrane of the red blood cell to see whether you have benefited. And you know what? as Vincent mentioned earlier, 780,000 tests and counting. By the middle of the year, we hope to hit 1 million tests. Now, out of that, 95% have improved their omega-3 ratios dramatically. Many of them have already attained 1:3 level in the 120 days. Some people take longer, which is okay. Okay, some people are in a very high deficit. So the deficit has to be filled up before you get your required ratios. So take it and keep doing the test every 120 days, maybe up to 3 or 4 times, by which time you will know your level and how much of the Balanceoil you need to take. Then you can just carry on without the test and maybe repeat the test once a year, once in 2 years, so on. Okay. Now, exercise, diet, the important part of it is omega-3, the right kind of omega-3. Okay, I'll stop here and take some questions from you. Now, let me see, there was a question about, sorry, oops.
Okay, I think doctor may have some technical issue. Okay, I think he's back. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Doctor is back. Doctor is back.
Okay.
Welcome back, doctor.
This is what happened earlier today. Speaker somehow gets okay.
Okay, doctor, can you hear me? Ethan, give doctor a bit of time. I think he's trying
Hello.
to. Yes, can hear you. No problem. Very good. You can't hear me. You can't hear me. Are you able to hear us, doctor?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we can hear you. No, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. No worries, no worries. It's okay. Sometimes this type of thing does happen. Yes, and I think
That's right.
our partners, our
Very
audience, our
patient of them to
participants,
wait.
very patient. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Anyway, let us all start our Q&A segment. I think we have some questions over here already.
Do you don't encourage sitting down as tummy? Now, I'm not sure what the question is. Okay, what I can see is 2 here. When I say the tummy part, you should get used to squatting once in a while. Many of us don't squat because toilets also have changed. It's good to squat once in a while. Now, sitting down for too long, if you look at about 2-3 generations ago, they used to sit down hours and hours, but nothing went wrong with them. But have you seen their chairs when they sit down? I have some antique Chinese furniture at home. The chairs are straight up and stiff, and it's wooden. There's no slouching in the sitting. So that kind of sitting is okay if it is going to be long period. Not many can take it. So if you go for a chair which will hold you in that position for long period, it's a very expensive chair you have to okay, gaming chairs, for example. So yes, sitting down once in a while, take a walk. The tummy part, you must do some work squatting down once in a while. When you're watching television, maybe you can squat down on the floor for 5 minutes a day. That will help. Now, stretching exercise is useless. No, it is useful because we do get tight in certain places. So stretching will depend on your personal needs. Now, there are many kind of stretches. You will find that people pick up something which they like. It is because their body gets tightened in that area, and therefore they feel good when they stretch that part. Okay, so stretching is good. Don't force stretch. Very important. My friends have just infected with COVID. Can taking Balanceoil help? Okay, now this is an area where I'm surprised that with all the promotion of vitamin D3 and zinc and so on, not many people are promoting, or hardly anybody promoting omega-3. Omega-3 is the biggest inflammation subduer, you can say. It can douse a lot of inflammation in the body. So you must take a high dose of, especially in Singapore and Malaysia at the moment, the number of Omicron cases are going up. Yes, most of it is not severe, but you don't even want to get that, you see. So if you're already on D3 and zinc, excellent. Don't forget your omega-3. Take a higher serving than necessary, maybe 1 tablespoon, 15 ml a day. That will keep you well. I also heard that some vegans were not doing well. Now, that's partly because if somebody has been a strict vegan, they are quite healthy in other areas, but their omega-3 ratio will be very, very low. We had one lady, extremely healthy, but when she checked, her ratio was 60:1. Can you imagine? So she went on a Balanceoil, and she hit 3:1 in 3 months' time. Now, I don't promise that to everybody, but it can happen that fast. Now, some vegans may be very strict about even the fish oil, and I understand that. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, the supply of vegan fish oil from Sweden is not very regular, simply because production is not that cheap and not that easily available. Okay, so for therapeutic purposes, if you could make an exception, that will be good. Otherwise, you may have to wait for a while to get the vegan omega-3 oil. By the way, we call it fish oil. Actually, omega-3 fish oil is not made by fish. It is made by the algae in deep sea. The fish eat that. They store the omega-3. I don't know whether this explanation is okay for some vegans, but that's what it is. It is not originally made by fish. My friend is undergoing dialysis. Can Balanceoil or Velexir help? No. Dialysis is a situation where the kidneys are not functioning anymore. Now, you cannot get back the kidneys again. But yes, his general health will improve compared to not taking both. He should take both, but make sure that the doctor knows what he's taking. I think there was an earlier question about carbon dioxide. Exercise blows away more carbon dioxide, so we have less and we'll be more healthy. Now, you have to be very careful. They find that we need carbon dioxide in our body. Carbon dioxide is the one that drives us to breathe deeper and to extract more oxygen from the air that we breathe in. When we breathe in air, it's 20.8% oxygen. We use only 25%. We breathe out 75% of that oxygen. So how much more can you get? It will depend on the carbon dioxide in the body. So if you can hold your breath and the carbon dioxide increases, the body will extract more oxygen from the breath. My friend recently got gout problems. Can Balanceoil help to reduce the pain and swelling? Okay, Now, somebody who has gout to the point where the joints are affected, he has to be on medication to reduce the uric acid levels. Okay, as an emergency, there are other medications to take for the pain. Now, can balance oil help? Yes, in the long term, not immediately for the pain and swelling. Experiencing very painful backache, sprain due to a fall and exercise. Can balance oil? Yes, it will help in the healing. Meanwhile, you have to find out why that backache occurred. Is it due to an imbalance in your musculature, posture, or maybe there is a mild muscle tear, or there's some injury to the spine ligament, not spine. You wouldn't be walking otherwise. So try to identify that. Meanwhile, start taking balance oil and Elixir. It will help in the healing process. Is that yoga belongs to good solution for doing the exercise? Yoga is an excellent form of doing exercise. Unfortunately, it's not for everybody. Some people, no matter what they do, cannot sit cross-legged, okay, because the length of their limbs are different and so on and so forth. Okay, so yes, it is a very good form of exercise. Even if you don't do yoga, learn the breathing methods that can help with other forms of exercise. When we feel tired after taking Velixir, is it at a turning point of regeneration? No. If you feel tired, there is some repair that is beginning to occur, and therefore you may be feeling a bit tired. So you may not be getting enough protein. Velixir supplies quite a few things: antioxidants, enzymes, vitamins, minerals. You may not be getting enough protein, so keep an eye on that. What advice will you give for the pandemic situation here in Singapore and Malaysia? Okay, the standard operative procedures, please follow that. It is very important. Take balance oil. Omega-3 is more important than vitamin D and zinc. I'm not saying D and zinc are not important. Comparatively, I would say omega-3 balance oil is more important. SOP, keep your distance. You don't have to wash your hands with spirit and all that every time. It's bad for the skin. But just do washing with plain water. And most of all, when you just wash your hand, sniff a little bit of water and blow out, because this is the entry point. So if you clean the entry points more often, less chance of getting infected.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your sharing. Okay. I'm very sure that everyone here today has benefited from your tip and advice. All right. Let us give Doctor a round of applause. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, if you like what Doctor has shared earlier, but have yet tried to take our balance oil, okay, talk to the person who invites you to the call. All right. But before you start taking the oil, we do strongly recommend you to do a balance test. Okay, which is this is the balance test, so that you know where you stand, where your health status is. Right. Even for those who have been taking other supplements or other brands of omega-3s, hey, I do urge you to take our test first, so that you will see whether the product that you have been taking for years or months, or whether are they working for you. Okay, we have plenty of customers, new customers, who have been on other brands of omega-3s, and you'll be surprised, even after years of taking them, they have taken the other brands, they are still not 3:1 balance yet. Okay, why do we know that? Because we have a large database. We had 780,000 database. All right, and out of this database so far that we have done so far, 95% of the people worldwide are not balanced, even for those who have been on omega-3s for many years. Okay, so what does this mean to me, to you? You may actually consider investing your money on the products that are effective and helpful for you and your family, okay, such as our Zinzino balance oil. All right, okay, so after you have taken the balance test, all right, after you have taken the test, okay, you can take the balance oil for 120 days every day, daily, and make sure you have sufficient dosage. All right. And then after 120 days later, do a second test again. Okay, you will you will definitely see a very big improvement, after 120 days of taking the balance oil, and likely be in balance. And of course, if you like to take the products, okay, you may share with your friends, families, make sure they also do a test and then take the product like what you had done. Okay, and when you have 4 customers yourself, Zinzino will reward you with a free product for your sharing effort. Okay, and of course, inviting your customers and prospects to attend this Zoom health talk, okay, are very important and critical for your business. As such, we had invited a doctor, and the rest of the nutritionists to conduct the talk to you. And this is the next session for doctor. All right, the next session for doctor will be next week, okay, at 8:45 p.m. same time. Okay, we strongly recommend you to invite your prospects or your friends to listen to the session that we have, so that because these are all conducted by the professionals, and they can explain the products better, and this help your customers to understand the benefits of on why they have to take the balance oil daily. All right, okay, so doctor session is on every Tuesday 8:45 p.m. and on every Wednesday 8:45 p.m. or should I say 7:45 p.m. Thailand time. Okay, we'll go over to Thailand. It's actually the same time. Okay, just different time zone. Okay, so we'll go over to Thailand on every Wednesday 7:45 p.m. and we will have our Thailand product health talk by our product specialist in Thailand. All right, so he will be speaking in Thai. So if you do know anyone from Thailand, do invite them to the call. It's very good chance for you to share your products to the Thai prospects and start building your Thai markets. All right, and this coming Friday, 8:45 p.m. All right, it will be our nutritionist. Julia will be speaking to you in Mandarin, and she will be discussing with everyone on the importance of balance test and balance oil this Friday, 8:45 p.m. So, if you have you can share this link to your Chinese speaking prospects and friends. Okay, make sure they tune in. Okay, so that they can understand more about the products. All right, and of course, next week we will have Victor as well. Okay, our fitness nutritionist Victor will be with us on every Monday 9 p.m. Next week, Victor will be sharing with us some tips and knowledge on how to achieve a healthy and fit body, especially for those who are interested in gymming. Okay, you should really get them to the call. Okay, so join us on next Monday 9 p.m. to find out more. Okay, session will be in English next Monday, so do send your invitation out. Okay, I know just now everything is like a bit too much for you to remember. So you can actually go and follow our teams in Zeno Asia. Okay, if you have not done so. Okay, stay connected with the company at various social media channels platform as well. Okay, we'll put up all the links and educational informations over there. Okay, if you have not followed our teams in Zeno Asia, okay, if you have not followed us, okay, so you can actually if you have not followed us, okay, you can actually sorry, there was a call coming in. So got distracted. If you have not followed us, go to Facebook and then type in Teams in Zeno Asia. You will be able to find us there. Just remember to fill up your name and your ID, okay, so that our moderator, our admin can let you access the group. All right, this webinar is coming to an end. Stay safe, stay healthy in the meantime. Do them plenty of Zoom meeting. I hope to see you again tomorrow, next session. Okay, and hereby I like to wish all Chinese, okay, a healthy, prosperous, and happy Lunar New Year. Okay, 2022 will be our best year ever in Zinzino. Okay, so all the best. Thank you for your participation tonight. Good night and have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. Bye for now.